Chanel, that's why.
But on top of this, let me say this, because I think this is what a lot of people get. The message gets muddled. The manosphere is still not representative of all black males, and this is what I mean.
I hope not.
Because Sweeney, what you say, Nicole?
I hope not.
Well, no, because here's the thing, Sweeney. I got a question. Who's the leader?
There is none.
Who's the senior guy?
There is none.
My point. So
no, it's the little white dude with the Rotini guy.
No.
White dude.
We're not finna shame Rolo Tomasi like that, because that's not
Rolo.
Like I said, he was the origin point of it. But there is a difference between the black manosphere, which is why shout out to O'Shea Duke Jackson. He made the Negro manosphere and the general manosphere, because white men and black men have different dating experiences, because the way that both black and white women operate, especially in this country, are completely different. In the black world, Nicole in my line, we have a matriarchal system. White males get to enjoy a legitimate patriarchy. So the conversation that they get to have, relationship centered, is completely different. You have to speak about that within that context. You can't just say that the black manosphere, the manosphere, and the Negro manosphere are the same. They're not. They never have been.
But let me ask you this, Julia, why with the title that he posed, that Lapeef posed, the question right now, why is it then that a lot of black men find themselves in positions where they're on the defense when it comes to relationships? As far as, the video we just watched, why is it a lot of black men, it's like they know, instead of them stick to the rivers and the lakes that they're used to,
right,
and swim in the waters that they're used to, they go out there in the Atlantic and swim, and then when they're about to drown, then they, oh my God, these women drowned. Like, it's like, why not look at the woman that's right next to you, take it for what it is, social media, stay in your lane, and have a better, result.
If you're asking me,
the manosphere didn't teach them that. I don't know.
Yes, he did. But see, that's the thing again. And I have. If you're asking me the question, if you're asking me the question, Leah, the only answer to that question I can give is that Kevin's message was picked up by the wrong audience. The message he was spreading was picked up. It was intended for audience A. It was picked up by audience B, C, D, E, F, and G, by the people who are disqualified from his rhetoric, which is why if you really go back and watch his content, if we're going to keep it a buck, Nicole in my line, if you keep it a buck, he had to create new categories of high value men to make the lessers feel better. First it was high value, then it became my hit squad, my Henry, my high earners not rich yet, my high value in training, all this other stuff. So he had to create a different message to fit a specified narrative to make the non, as I would say, the non-select Negroes feel like they had a place at the table too. And in the real world, everybody don't have a musical chair, everybody don't have a seat. That's the net of the situation, whether you like it or not.
She didn't ask that question based on the premises if you were talking about Kevin saying his points. I think she asked the question based on being in the manosphere and the red pill.
And here's the crazy thing.
It's not a message that's specific for audience A. It's a message specific for anybody who's pretty much woken up and understand that, hey, look, there's a similar situation that keep repeating itself. I've been missing it the whole damn time since I've been living. Now that I understand, the nature and of these things, I'm not gonna miss it anymore because I've taken a red pill. You get what I'm saying? It's not so much of a high value man. That's just a genre and the music. It's almost like, so you got to look at this whole thing as a genre. It's not something that that's who I am. You're in a genre. You're playing the same song as other people that's in the same genre.
Well, now all of them are losers.
So now that you see, hold on. So now that you see, for example, hip hop is people that came in there and took a shit on it. Now you got these people who actually started or been in it from the beginning when it was actually something. Now you got these people like, oh man, I can't believe they did that. They even look at hip hop as a woman, like a wife or something. They took her and put her in the sewers. Shout out to Common with his lyrics. But it's almost like a genre. It's something that is just constant. It stays there, and other people come in there and they change the whole context of it. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't mean that you individually have to be, you have to wear that on your sleeve.
And to speak specifically about the Negro manosphere or Black manosphere, and I get what Leah's saying. She said basically, you know what I mean, you was swimming in the lake or the pool, and then you try to jump out in the Atlantic. Here's the problem with that. It's under the assumption that we're only talking about people shooting out of their league. The three main concerns, if you go to any Black person on YouTube, as far as manosphere content and in regards to black women, there's only 3 main complaints that black men have of women. Well, one for real. What would you think that is? What would you say the top 3 reasons that black men speak about our women online?
Aggression.
That's one.
Asking for men to have too much money. And it's the black women are too aggressive. The standards, they ask for men with too much money, and they're out of shape, and they want in shape men. They want the top 10% of men. That's those would be the top 3. I mean, that's
I would say I would replace that third one with attitude, or I guess that can tie in with aggression. But
so the question is that true?
For the most part, by and large, yeah. If you,
I'm saying like to people who don't,
true, but for the most part, by and large,
I'm saying to people who don't agree. So let's say they are making complaints, right? But is it true though?
No.
A
lot of people date and interact in proximity. So if you're from the Bronx, New York, and you used to women a certain type of way, now it's all women. Have you ever been to Atlanta? Have you been to California? Have you been to Texas? Have you been anywhere? But now it's all women, and you've never left the borough, but it's all women. And that's
this is what crazy.
Hold on, we're talking about like a majority. I don't think it's all.
No,
we're saying like a majority.
Cool to talk about, Lady Di. It gets cool to talk about. So even men who aren't even experienced. Because a lot of these dudes aren't experiencing women at all.
No, I get that.
Hold on, Lady Di.
So like
they're not even experiencing women at all. They're just watching porn and jacking off. They're not experiencing women on YouTube complaining about women.
You know this how?
What did you say, nigga?
You know this how?
This is my example. So my example is I see women doing that same thing. I've heard of women just talking about like, oh, this person is bad in bed. That's too small of a size, right? And I'm like, well, how do you know that? Oh, I heard my friend say it. So they're just saying things that's happening.
I understand women are children, so I understand women are going to do that. But we talking about the men.
The majority of men don't experience women.
But
my point is,
the majority of men don't experience.
Hold on. Hold on very quickly. If we
hold on, I'm not done yet. So my point is that if someone is saying a point, like you're saying, okay, they didn't experience it, so they don't have a place to talk. I agree with that. I don't think you should be talking about something you ain't never experienced. But if you hear what they're saying and you just ask a regular man that same question, hey, do you think that this is true? Right? Just an average man, a man that could be married. Some of these men are going to say, yeah, that is true. Because it's a majority of people that are this type of way. So if we're talking about ladies out of shape, right? Yeah, I could agree that if you go to a certain place, okay, some of these women in this area are not going to be out of shape. But I really think they're talking about black women, right? So black women are, let's say, quote unquote, out of shape for the majority of it. A lot of black women are not fit, and they don't have to be a stick. I'm just talking about how they look.